All right. I'm on the fence, man. Warlock or mage? Warlock or mage? Warlock or mage? I really enjoy leveling my warlock. Like a lot. I need to swap to herbalism though. Actually, do we swap to herbalism? Trying to think how I want to do this. There's an herbalism trainer right in here. Oh, not in this room. My bad. Wait, where is this guy? Oh, he's in here. He's so...
How are you? Keep your feet on the ground.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Tucked him. Did my sweet lass Kylie send you down to me? The apple of my eye, she is.
The apple of my eye, she is.
Mark my words, you won't find faster griffins anywhere in the Eastern Kingdoms than the ones right here in Thelsamar.
Ooh. Oh, it's soulbound. Fuck. That's annoying. Um...
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live once again. My name is Cargos. The date is December 2nd, 2019. Happy holidays, everybody. Everybody's doing good around the world. My classic WoW family. Today we have a special treat for you. We're going to attempt to do a Warlock PvP guide. Now, to what effect we accomplish this is TBD. But I am joined today by some special guests. They are all new to the channel. I don't think any of you guys have seen them on my channel, but you may recognize them if you play on Skyrim or if you, follow the Classic WoW YouTube space. I am so happy and excited to introduce you guys to Namtar. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up? Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, brother. Crix, my man, my Skyrim battle buddy, my Invictus battle buddy. How are you, bro?
Doing alright, brother. How you doing?
Doing great. And last but not least, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the naked SL Warlock murderer, Voivod. What's up, bro?
What's up?
Welcome, guys. So again, this is going to be a Warlock PvP guide. I need to give a little bit of a disclaimer here. All of us, I think, are pretty competent when it comes to Warlock PvP, but we're not trying to claim to be the latest and greatest. But we are pretty well versed in Warlock, so. This isn't going to be the most comprehensive thing in the world. It's going to be somewhat basic. We're going to cover a lot of the broad strokes. If we're missing anything, please, by all means, put it in the chat. We'll try and we'll cover it. We'll try and go back and forth on it. But without further ado, let's get into it, boys. I'm very excited here. So the agenda for today is we're going to do quick panelist intros. We have 4 of us here total. We're going to just do a quick introduce ourselves to you guys, get to know each other a little bit. Then we're going to go over lock strengths and weaknesses, viable PvP specs, 1v1 matchups, the Warlock role in World PvP team fights, the role in Battlegrounds. We're going to go over Warlock pets, consumables, trinkets, and offhands, or we may not get to all of this stuff. We will see. Also, stat priority, another thing that comes to mind. Let's start with panelist intros. Namtar, if you could be so kind, please introduce yourself to the stream.
Yeah, man. I've been playing Warlock since vanilla. I think I started playing WoW in my mid-20s, but I don't remember for sure. So about 12 years of Warlock. Normally play Horde, but I decided to play Alliance this time around, and it's been interesting dealing with not having Fear as such a viable use.
Absolutely. What server are you playing on, bro?
Oh, I'm on Stalag.
Stalag with the Grizzly Boys. Let's say you are Alliance.
Yes, sir.
Our Alliance. Zkaz, what's up, man? How you doing? Welcome back to the stream. So you've been playing since vanilla, playing a Gnome Warlock, I see. Have you always been Alliance, Namtar?
No, I was Horde for about the past 12 years or so. This is my first time playing Alliance, and I kind of got peer pressured into it by friends that promptly left the server for Heartseeker, so it's been an experience.
Ah, the peer pressure is real. Okay. Very good. Crix, my man, my longtime friend at this point, dude. Fellow guildie. You could be so kind.
My name's Crix. I'm an Undead Warlock. I've been playing this game for way too long. Should probably quit at some point. I actually did not play Warlock in Classic. I didn't start playing it till like Draenor, and then I kind of big dig retail as Warlock. And when Classic came out, I wanted to try it out, and I'm in love with it. I actually started playing Warlock because of you and Voivod, so it makes it just even better that you guys are here.
Love to see it, man. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you on the stream, man. You're a super chill guy, very easy to be around. You're also from California, right? Or somewhere. What, LA? LA? Where are you guys from, Namtar and Voivod? I guess
I'm
I
from
was
Michigan.
born and raised Los Angeles, California. I live about 4 hours outside of LA now.
I sense a little bit of a country twang with you, though, Namtar. You were really born and raised LA.
I was, but grandparents are kind of hometown corn-fed folks, so it rubbed off on me.
We're a bunch of red-blooded, barrel-chested freedom fighters, as you can all tell by the sound of our voices. Voivod, where are you from again, bro?
I'm in Michigan.
Oh, in Michigan. Okay, it's quite cold.
Yeah, good old Michigan, land of the cold and snow.
Absolutely.
Lakes.
If you could be so kind, introduce yourself to the stream.
How does that,
Yeah,
bro? What?
Well, obviously, my name's Voivod. I've been playing WoW since vanilla. In vanilla, I did play a Warlock, but that was a while ago. And then I did play a Priest. And then I've been playing private servers since Nost, and then I went back to playing a Warlock. And then I've just been playing a Warlock ever since. Haven't really touched retail since WoD, really. So I make videos, guides on Warlock PvP. I guess I'm kind of known for running around naked as a Soul Link Warlock and killing people. So, well, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah. So I'm a huge fan of Voidvid's content. Have been for, I don't know how long you've been doing it, man. Pretty much since the start of your channel.
Hell yeah, bro.
Watching stuff. He makes some really good videos. I'm gonna be plugging him throughout this because he's very underrated channel.
Phenomenal video.
Very underrated channel. You gotta check it out, especially if you're a Warlock. If you love seeing naked Warlock PvP, right there for you.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that, boys.
Yeah, I'm glad he's be streaming too, man. It's just good to have you on. It's just really good to have you on. So, and
thank you very much.
first time for me meeting Namtar, first time meeting Voidvid. Crix and I have been homies for a minute, so it's cool. We're fleshing it out. We're breaking the ice. We're breaking the ice. All right, so we did the panelist intros. The next thing we're going to go over is lock strengths and weaknesses. Now, I was talking about this offline before we started the stream. I want to make this as organic and as much of a conversation as possible. I'm already interfering with that by like doing the structured intros, but feel free to just talk shit, bullshit, chime in, just fling little zingers back and forth of knowledge that stuff comes to your mind, because oftentimes, you know, Classic WoW is such a complicated game. There's so much going on here that like one person, you know, you only have so much brain power to flesh out these matchups. It's rare you get together with people playing your class who are PvP minded, and we can hopefully create some value here with our discussion. So, anybody want to chime in? What would you describe as some of the strengths and weaknesses for Warlock?
Well, I mean, the strengths really huge. Somebody even said it in chat here. Is Soul Link. If you are playing Soul Link, it's just it's broken. You're basically a hero class if you're playing Soul Link. Well, Warlocks are kind of like a hero class anyway, but Soul Link is so overpowered. I mean, I have videos of me just running around naked. I mean, on private servers, killing warriors with the absolute best gear. I mean, yeah, sure, I'm wearing rings and trinkets and stuff, but as far as, you know, strengths, Soul Link is just so overpowered, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, to touch on that too, pretty much rogues with Viscag or warriors with Bone Reaver's Edge are the only things I've run into as Soul Link that give me any.
Well, I mean, a good, like, you have to be a good rogue. I don't know, we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Did I type that right?
About the CDL tournament. I don't follow it 100%, but you have to be a really good player.
Where do I go? Is it this way?
Warlock, you know, or the hopefully the Warlock's just bad.
I gotta go around this way?
If you saw the duel between Peo and Snuts, he did exactly what you need to do in order to kill a Soul Link Warlock. And that was take care of his pet. And then, so first he took care of his pet, and then he took care of Snuts. And it's really rare. I mean, I have played Soul Link, and I have been killed by rogues. They were always dagger rogues, and you know, they were exceptional players. But it's just so rare because Soul Link is just so broken, so overpowered.
Yeah, unless I'm a rogue.
Who is...
I think
I'm listening to a video.
Why Warlocks are strong and fun across the board, no matter what
To
you're
a
doing in Classic
YouTube
WoW.
video.
I think a big piece of that is the flexibility. There's a lot of different talent builds, a lot of different play styles, just a huge number of lines of play and ways to, you know, dynamically,
Yeah.
you know, dynamically shift directions. There's so much. You have so many tools. You have so many damn abilities when you're playing a Warlock. Like I've completely run out of binds on my Warlock, and that wasn't a problem I faced on my Hunter. Some strengths that come to mind: you have lots of control, lots of pets, lots of abilities in general. You feel like there's always an out. At least I do as your Warlock. Like I don't feel frustrated that when I play Warlock, I don't feel frustrated that my class was incapable. I felt like, oh man, maybe I misplayed, maybe I used wrong trinkets, or maybe I did something.
I like that. I like that mentality.
There's a chance.
It's like there's room for error.
Yeah.
I like that.
They are fantastic duelers. Soul Link is banned in, I'd say, probably most duel tournaments. We tried having Soul Link in the duel tournaments we run on Scarum, and it was just SL winning every week. And so we
I do know how to
scratched
play
that, but
Warlock. I know how to
this is
play
just
pretty much everything.
one,
I'm just
you know,
trying to,
duels
like...
in that context, right?
What I'm basically trying to do is I'm trying to get ready for Season of Mastery 2. So I don't know if I'm talking to Bobby or if I'm talking to Louis, but I don't know if you ever played. No, you probably didn't. So Season of Mastery came out. When did that come out? It came out about a year ago. So Season of Mastery 2 is, there's no official date yet, but stuff has been linked that it should be starting here within the next 3 months, I think, or less than 3 months. So I'm trying to get ready for that. I'm trying to figure out, it's basically, I've narrowed it down to 2 classes, Mage and Warlock, and I'm leaning more towards Mage for my particular type of playstyle. I think Mage is overall better for all content of the entire game, but I don't care about the entire game. I care about leveling. I care about PvP. Obviously, you know I like the PvP. I care about dungeons, because that's part of leveling and gearing. And that's about it. Raiding, I actually don't care about that. However, Mage is really good at all of those areas. Warlock is really good at all the areas. It's not bad in raiding, it's just Mage is a little bit better. But I think Warlock is slightly better than Mage in PvP. So... Also, I can be completely naked as the SL spec, which is what I was listening to in the YouTube video. So Warlock is actually a very gear dependent class, unless Warlock is very gear dependent unless you play this spec, Soul Link. So in Classic, there's no ability in this entire game that's anything like this. Read how broken this is. You have 30% damage reduction permanently. You have an extra 10% if you spec into Master Demonologist. That's 40% damage reduction all the time. There's nothing like it. Oh, I leveled up. And I have a talented point to use. So we're going to put it into improved imp. Demonology is in. I don't understand your question. Like, are you asking if that's like the play? So Demonology is the go-to spec in Classic specifically if you're trying to PvP and you don't have gear. It's broken. Yeah, it's extremely broken. It's banned. Let me tell you how broken this spec is. The spec is so broken that it's banned in almost every single dueling tournament there is because you can't kill an SL Warlock. They're literally unkillable. They'll just kill you. They eventually will just kill you. They kill everything in the game. There's the YouTube video I'm watching. This one YouTuber's famous because he made videos of him being completely naked on his toon, and he was killing fully geared warriors at level 60. That's how broken the spec is. So I think I'm gonna fuck with it and give it a shot. But what I'm gonna do, so I'm on the fence with 3 classes at this point. Well, kind of. You should have everything downloaded by tomorrow. Make sure you update all your drivers and stuff like that. I forgot to tell you that because I went back to factory settings on everything when I reset the computer. So just make sure that, hold on, maybe I can show you this real quick. I have Windows 11 on my new computer, so it's going to look different. Make sure you get CC Cleaner. This is really good. And if I were you, this is the only type of service that I would buy, because what's cool about CC Cleaner I'm wanting to say it's like $5 a month or something like that, or maybe it's $10 a month. I don't remember the price, but I think it's worth having. The reason why, this is already running 1,000 times better. Yeah, you want to get CC Cleaner is good because what I like about CC Cleaner is it keeps your computer clean, and it shit, I didn't mean to open two of them. You can have a driver updater. I have 92 drivers are up to date. Scan again. So let's scan for any updated drivers I may or may not have. I should be up to date on everything. Oh, I don't. I see I have some drivers that I need to update. So it's updating my Bluetooth, and it's updating my wireless Bluetooth and something else.
Okay, I'm heading to bed. I'll hit you up tomorrow if got a close bar.
Oh yeah, you'll see me tomorrow. I'm working all day tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Have a good night, brother. What else am I updating here? Wi-Fi 6? Oh. Oh, I'm glad I did this. Okay, are we done? What's going on? Okay, it's saying that the rare has spawned. Where are you? Oh, did someone kill him? Oh, somebody killed him. Fuckers. Is this done yet? I don't want to put those to sleep. I can put this to sleep though. Yeah, I literally don't want to put any of these to sleep. Not optimized. To boost your PC's performance, put 12 programs into sleep mode. Did I not download the software for this? I thought I did. It's not even... Wait, what? I know I downloaded it. Where is it? Hello? No, I don't... No, dude. Corsair Gaming. IQ. IQ software. I thought I downloaded this. Wait a minute. I know I downloaded this. There it is. Why aren't you loaded? You should be auto-loading, bro. Updates. Check for updates. I guess we're good. Oh, I like this. It tells me my temps. What? This thing's dope. Okay. Start on system startup, plugins, debug login. Don't show this again. Huh. Alright, whatever. Oh, look at all the fucking herbs out of nowhere. Sheesh. Whoa, what is my chat, dude? A fat girl? I like fat girls. A man is a Shane, a woman is a Sheila. Isn't it basically don't be a cunt? You only like fat girls because you have to? Or a Karen? Why do I have to? This is America. What? What is this chat? Fat girls give the best head because they always hungry. They cook the best too. What is happening?
Right, there's world PvP and big team fights, there's battlegrounds, all that type of stuff. In the vein of the talent builds and playstyles, you can both burst, do heavy burst if you go kind of a Destro build, or you can go heavy rot damage and spread pressure if you want to go into more like a deeper affliction line, or anything in between. That's the amazing thing. Any other strengths, guys? What do you guys like about playing Warlock and PvP, maybe?
Well, I mean, besides the whole souling thing, I mean, I want to just, you know, my personal thoughts on souling is, well, number one, it's busted, it's OP. But also, if you're just starting playing a Warlock and you're trying to learn how to PvP, then play souling. Once you get better at playing the class, then try something like a Nightfall Conflag or a Deep Conflag or something else. I mean, but that's just kind of like a side note thing. I don't think that, you know, it's kind of a meme spec just because it's so broken. But you know, if anybody that's watching right now, they're not, they're new to Warlock and they're trying to just get into PvP. I kind of tell them to try that out, and then when they get, you know, used to playing a Warlock, then switch it up and try to go, you know, maybe Deep Destro or, you know, whatever. SM Ruin. SM Ruin really is my favorite spec, but, you know.
I thought you were an SLSB guy. That's a quick question I'll ask you guys. So, your favorite spec to PvP as? That's yours, Voivod? SM Ruin?
Yeah, I think SM Ruin is all around the best spec. Because you can raid as SM Ruin. SM Ruin is
Cargoes
amazing
and tricks
as
a day.
raiding. And then, I mean, it's really good farming. It's really good for PvP. I guess I'm just known for Soul Link, like just you know, that certain spec and just those types of videos. But like my next PvP video, I probably won't even have any Soul Link footage in there.
I see. You do kind of feel sick of not how OP. Yeah, I mean it does feel kind of OP, and sometimes you feel like, you know, you're expected to like win PvP, like every PvP altercation when you're playing an SO Warlock, and Sometimes that gets a little bit old. Storm, thank you so much for the $10 donation, bro. That is very kind of you, man. It's good to see you back in the chat once again. How about you, Crix, and Namtar? What are your favorite PvP specs?
Man, I've been SM since 60, which is flexing some talents around with the coax and then, you know, Fell Conk and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been rocking with it. Conflag's my favorite because it's the most fun. But seeing, I feel like we need a little more crit, a little more something to be able to just go full conflag. But I'm still gonna try it, of course. But I'm gonna start with SM right away.
So Destro is your favorite, though? You're just not quite there yet with your development and your character?
Just those soulfire crits are just like, what beats it?
It's true, yeah. It's
what beats that?
very satisfying, right? Very satisfying connecting with all that big damage. And we'll get into more of this nuances a little bit later. But you know, just because you're SM Ruin, just because you're a Destro spec, just because you're SL, that's not the end of the story, right? There's so much flexibility with talents, and there are different, you know, ways to build an SL Warlock or a Destro Warlock. Some people want to go be a little tankier and get the Demonic Embrace, get the extra stem. Some people want to go down to Nightfall if you're Destro. We'll get into that later. How about you, Namtar? What's your favorite PvP spec?
SM Ruin for sure. I think Curse of Exhaustion, especially improved Curse of Exhaustion, is really destructive in BGs and open world PvP.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that spec.
As well as basically what you're doing with Soul Link is you're so tanky, you're outlasting all the cooldowns of your opponent, and it kind of is counterintuitive to learning how to fight because Warlocks have very little mobility, and you're gonna kind of end up in situations where if you want to play other specs or talents, you're not gonna know what you're supposed to be doing because you're so used to just being a tank.
Very
True.
well said. So SM Ruin, Destro. As for myself, I think I just want to play what's strongest and what fits my playstyle. I really like Soul Link a lot. I like Soul Link, and I think the absolute strongest is what, and this is like a quote from you, Voivid, is, you know, SLSB is probably pound for pound as a dueling spec or whatever, probably the absolute strongest. But here's the thing with SLSB, it's so shard intensive. When I say SP, I'm talking about Shadowburn and Destro Tree. And this is my first merry-go-round as a Warlock, right? I'm traditionally a Hunter player, and going through it, man, like, the shards are an absolute nightmare, dude. They're an absolute nightmare having to maintain shards for me, because I use those shards, man. I'm handing out Hellstones to people, I'm keeping Soulstones up. There's so much prep work with the Warlock that I actually think that's a real viable consideration if you're going to be PvPing for long stretches of time, to adjust your specs so you're less shard intensive. So I'd have to go with the Soul Link Drain spec, moving into Affliction, probably my favorite personal playstyle. Alright, great. So people get it, right? Warlocks are strong in PvP. Maybe there's some stuff we missed here, but I want to talk about something that's probably more interesting. Weaknesses. And as Warlock players, we know the weaknesses of a Warlock. And even if you're not playing a Warlock, this is super juicy information to you. I didn't even fill this out completely. Does anything stand out to you guys as weaknesses for a Warlock in PvP?
I think
off the top is mobility. Right off the top is mobility. If you don't have the right consumes, if you don't have consumes, just, you know, forget about it. I mean, you need to have free action potions.
A level fucking 9
and vulnerability potions. But weaknesses, if you're not playing Soul Link, I'm just going to address this as we're not playing Soul Link anymore, and we're playing something else. You're squishy. You're squishy, and the big problem with that can be your mobility. So, you know, you really want to at least have consumes, and if you're not engineering, you know, that can hurt you too. You know, but off the bat, I would automatically say is your mobility.
Very true.
Yeah, definitely mobility. You do need engineering if you want to keep up with competitive PvP as a Warlock. Soul
That's an
shards,
e-spec,
soul
though.
shard management. It also takes Warlocks a really long time to reset once they die. They're kind of useless without their pet.
So true.
You got to burn a 15-minute soul dom. Yeah.
I feel like one thing that could be good or bad
Cooking is a
that you can
lifelong
Shadowlock.
pursuit,
We have
and I
two
see we share the same passion.
And if you see you Shadowlock me, we can jump right into fire. Or vice versa.
Well, there's definitely a lot more strengths than weaknesses when playing a Warlock. I mean, fear, you know, spell lock, seduce, depending on, you know, for me, Will the Forsaken, But yeah, I would weaknesses probably mobility and being squishy.
For me, all day, every day, it's a combination of the soul shard dependence and what exactly what Namtar was saying about the prep work. If you die as a warlock in a PvP altercation, happens all the time. You live, you die, you trade. To recover from a death is it's rough, man. It's rough. You have to like spawn an invis potion, then go away, and think about the order of operations. You have to summon a pet that takes a shard. You have to create another hellstone that takes a shard. You have to re-soulstone yourself takes a shard, right? You have to, you know, see if you even have a soul shard that to shadow burn left if you have something like that, right? There's and then you have to buff yourself. You have to, if you really want to buff yourself, you buff with invis and underwater breathing. You have demonic, you know, you have your demon armor. You got soul link perhaps. There's you know, you have to throw on new offense and trinkets per usual. You have to make new spell stones. Oftentimes you have to make 2 spell stones. Like, there is so much you have to do to recover. But with that, you know, if you do all of your preparation work and you have the shards to spare, at least personally, you feel like an absolute colossus in PvP.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pump. You pump. You feel when you had everything and you're out there at max power level with all the tools, brother, you are a freaking god.
You want to... now, just talking about soul shards, I have 2 felt cloth bags. What I did was I bought felt cloth when it was real cheap, and I made 2 of those bags. And when I'm raiding, I'm bringing almost 80 shards to raid. If I'm going to PvP like the entire day, I'm going to bring, you know, my bags are full of consumes and shards. I mean, also, I don't know where you, if you guys are farming your soul shards. That's one thing that comes to mind. Right now, personally, I'm farming my soul shards in Ashara because it's close to the flight path. I org. It's really close. That and if the window's open for Astrogos, I can, you know, scout that also. But like, I used to go to Felwood, but now, right now, with Phase 2, like rolling death balls of Alliance or Horde, you know, it's just, I prefer going to Ashara. So I don't know where you guys are farming your soul shards at.
We're really getting down to the down and dirty value add freaking pro tips, man. For me, it's the imps in, you know, those little packs of flame imps? Yeah. And they drop the fire stuff, like the elemental fire or whatever, and you kill them really quick, and they're little packs of like 4 or 5, and sometimes you mess it up and you'll miss 1 or 2, but you can get charged up with. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I'm still recharging.
No, they're good. I'm bringing stuff before we have the imps.
Yeah.
Shards is a big thing because a lot of people have to realize, like, hey, you can bag shards, but like, what are you gonna do when you're 3 BGs deep and you're trying to chain run them? You have a 2-minute queue. You know what I mean? Then you gotta go farm some shards because you're out of shards.
And with the shards, inventory is another thing. So I have to confess, I personally have a mage bot, not a bot, but like it's my second account that follows me around at all times and funnels me food and water, polys me when I'm low, and the poly really helps when you have 6k plus health. But without that mage, dude, oh man, it would be so rough. Because you have all these shards, you have all these spell stones, maybe a couple hell stones in your bag, and then you have your gear and different pieces of gear and trinkets in your bag. And if you have your band-aids, your bombs, you know, your sappers, your swiftness pots, your lips, if you have everything, yo, you have like 5 inventory slots. It's disgusting.
Yeah, if that.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Right, if that.
Yeah.
You got to get those Onyxia high bag prio from your red.
Yo, Warlock Prio for real though. Yeah.
We got AV coming around the corner. Quick tip is you now in AV, you know that in the middle of the Field of Strife, I believe it's called, like the Alliance and the Horde, like NPCs fight each other. You can just spam Drain Soul and fill up your bags that way. Really.
Yeah, and I guess that's another detriment to Warlocks and group PvP is you can actually slow your group down because you have to free farm shards while you go.
So true.
Unless you get lucky and you get that final one in PvP, you can get lucky in the BGs.
There's spiteful people out there, man. Some people will deny my my Drain Soul just to...
You are constantly farming shards, man. It is a very real consideration. Even during the AV weekend during the beta, like, we would play 1 AV game, be fully done with shards, and just delete the character and create another one because it would, you know, to get back into AV, it's just
Yeah, I'm pretty sure for queuing for BGs, only the party leader has to be in a major city to queue the group up. So you could go to like Elwood or somewhere like that to farm your shards in between. But depending on how fast queues are, it's still good.
I need it.
Yeah, I mean, in AV, you shouldn't be running out of shards. Unless you joined in late in a turtle and then the field of strife is empty. But if I need shards, I'm queuing AV, I'm running right in the middle, and I'm just spamming rank 1 Drain Soul on all the dying NPCs, and then I'm just filling up my bags and I'm going about my business.
It's good.
Yeah, something else. Something I think Blizzard did, but I'm not sure if it's going to be in this patch, has made it so you respawn with your pet in BGs after you die. Hopefully that's in to help us out.
During the beta, it was like that, for whatever that's worth. You would spawn with your last summoned pet.
Did they just change it where, like, if you have a pet out and you go fly somewhere that you don't get that shard anymore? Was that just changed?
No, you get the shard if you fly.
Get the
If you get on a
shard,
flight path, you get the shard, yeah.
Or was it you can't run away from your pet?
I think it's if you log out, people
Yeah,
were...
you can't run away from it.
Yeah, there's something. I know there's been, like, so many changes from things that I thought they would be.
Why are you here?
In Classic, because they were this way in a private server. Like, yeah, so many things have changed. Although, so far, I would say for the...
Yeah.
Like, one thing that kind of frustrated me was sacrificing my Voidwalker, and then I want to immediately cast an Inferno, but on private servers I played on that said you couldn't do that because you control a demon. Now in Classic you can sacrifice your Voidwalker and summon Inferno right away, whereas like private servers you can't. And then I used to run away, from my pet if I needed a shard. Now that's you can't do that here, I guess, on Classic. So. Just a lot of changes, I noticed.
Yeah, there definitely are some changes between private servers and the real thing. Another thing that comes to mind, because I'm trying to brainstorm here what other weaknesses could be, is no on-demand slow.
This is starting to become my favorite starting area. There's so much here for value.
See the impact of it. So with that said, it's somewhat easy for people to run away from you if they're
I like
right at
Torrent
that edge.
too. Torrent's really good.
If you're not within range to fear them or whatever, like if they're right at that edge, it's tough to slow them. You have to defend.
Dan was also saying we have a pretty bad mana pool compared to other casters. So we have to life tap more, which is more, healer reliant.
Yeah. So to go back on to the strengths real quick, though, I do want to talk about this real quick because we're going into this. Some of the main strengths I'd say the Warlocks have to offer as well is curses. Curses are only dispellable by mages and druids, right? And there's really high impact curses like tongues, which can really debilitate a class's ability to play. Another huge thing is the both offensive and defensive dispel. I really want to highlight that. You guys all know how important and powerful that is. Your Fell Hunter is like a little mini priest and mage with MCS as well combined. And the ability to both offensively, so you're purging off, beneficial buffs on your enemy, and defensively dispel, take off polys off yourself, or a rocket helm off yourself, or one of your allies, is so key. And especially because it has that resistance to magic, makes it so hard to interact with as other casters who are the ones that are going to get hurt by that the most.
I'll take my herb.
Anything else, guys? Let's take a breath here. I'm talking annoying mouth in a minute.
Fire set makes it even more beefy.
In almost all situations, you should be using your Fell Hunter. I mean, I know, especially if you're Soul Link, like the double Voidwalker sack is dirty. It's really dirty. But yeah, in most situations, you should be using your Fell Hunter.
I'd say in most, yes, but the cool thing that and this speaks to how Warlocks have so many different lines of play is that any Warlock, doesn't matter what spec you are, you can do your little Succubus 3x CC chain right, like, and all the time, especially as Soul Link, with your Succubus out, you actually get 15% extra shadow damage off just having it out through the Master.
Yeah, for
Demonologist
Master
thing?
Demon. Yep.
So even if you're a Soul Link Warlock, someone tells me, "Hey, Cargos, you're Soul Link. I don't like Soul Link. You can't really burst. You can't really apply big pressure." Well, you can do your whole little wombo combo. I can seduce someone, and I can elements Soul Fire into, let's say, just a Searing Pain Shadow Burn. Do it again, Searing Pain, or Shadow Bolt, Searing Pain. Do it again, Searing Pain. Start the fight so far ahead, right? So far ahead. And that's with the succubus out as a soul link. Yeah, you're not going to get insane value out of the soul link, but as long as you have Feldom, I would say, at your disposal. If you have Feldom, you have a lot more flexibility on what pet you have out. But I would agree with you, Voivod. If you had to pick one pet for that would be high impact for the variety of for the majority of situations, it's got to be the Fel Hunter, right?
I love the I agree, but I love the succubus so much. I run around. So succubus saved my life. I don't even know how many times. But that's also in world PvP, solo and stuff like that.
Succubus is great if you're playing Destro. Usually, I would say Fel Hunter. If I'm just going out in the world, I usually have a Fel Hunter unless I'm trying to farm shards. Then maybe I have a Void Walker out. But usually, I would say that Fel Hunter, if you're Affliction. You could, if you really want to be dirty, in your demonology, you could use your Void Walker, and then Succubus if you're Destro. That's just kind of like a rough guide. I mean, it's interchangeable. It depends on what you're fighting. A Fel Hunter isn't really going to help you versus some classes where like maybe a Void Walker would, like you save like a warrior, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on Alliance side, you have to deal with a lot of undead, and Succubus becomes kind of useless. She's also really easy to focus down once she's out of invisibility. So in 1v1 or 1v2 situations, she's definitely useful, but in group PvP, I would go with Fel Hunter or Void Walker.
100%. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. That's the cool thing about Warlocks too. Like, hopefully you guys are we're getting this across. There's so many cool caveats to this class. There's so many weird intricacies when you look at the talents and the weird buff you get from Master Demonologist from this pet, and you really make use of all of your abilities. I've said this before on stream, I'll say it again. There's really no shit Warlock abilities. Like, even if you look at all the pet abilities, you can throw stuff in the chat. We can answer, how you would use even the most niche. There are ways to.
Firestone's shit though.
Firestone is Firestone's up there. Firestone's up there as one of the more useless ones. We could probably think of a way to make it work though, if you wanted, not in PvP so much, but like, if you wanted to go some plus fire build.
Oh, I gotta pee. Food break. Well, actually, let's fly to where we gotta go. That didn't even take me an hour, and I leveled my shit up almost.
What's happening?
That's fucking crazy.
Safe travels.
That's so crazy, bro. Oh, I wonder if I should go ahead and just go to the auction house and sell this shit. I could wait. Yeah, we can wait. No rush. Don't need to sell it right now. Anything else I need to do before I move on? could work on Taylor. I need gold though. Maybe we wait on that. Let's go rescan the auction house really quick. I'll take a food break. Oh, mail just came. Damn, would you look at that? Perfect timing. Trying to think of all the different things. So pet, soulstone, spellstone. That's 3 there. What else? That's bare minimum, right?
And get the, sack your imp for the fire damage, and get a bunch of talents in Destro, and use Firestone, and just double, triple dip down into as much fire damage as possible. You could use it. You could use it.
I bet you. I'll bet you that if you went Soul Link, well, I'd have to figure it out, but I bet you
terrible.
You could tank 5 mans, at least 5 mans.
I've done it before.
Maybe some raid bosses.
Especially as Alliance. As Alliance, you absolutely can. You can tank 5 mans as Soul Link. You absolutely can. You benefit from 2 health bars.
Warlocks can actually tank rag, from what I understand. I haven't looked into it completely, but I've heard quite a few Warlocks talk.
So it's very different on the Alliance side. You can, Alliance side with the Paladin improved concentration aura, right? They can reach that 100% pushback resistance on their Searing Pain with the rank 7 gloves, I believe. Plus that, so you can just spam Searing Pain right in the boss's face, no problem, right? So, but Horde can't reach that quite so much. But also, just to touch one last little niche point on your Firestone point, Voidvid, as you guys may or may not heard, there is a way to melee while channeling. You have to do a little bit of a Fugazi thing, but you can melee while channeling. And if you're going for some tank Warlock build and you have the Firestone out and you're able to melee while drain lifing or whatever it might be, there's room to explore and theory craft and have fun, and it's a freaking awesome class, dude. It's a freaking awesome class. Love Warlocks. Warlock life.
Yeah, you got some Scholar too. You can get quite a bit of burst out of it.
Yeah, I want to try. I never tried like the Imp Burst build.
Black Book? Oh yeah.
Get from WL. Never tried it.
We did it on the PTR. It's sick, dude. The Imp is like a little machine gun. You get those talents to reduce the cast time too. He's like a little machine gun.
Right.
Yeah,
then you have the trinket from VWL also. Yeah, I think he'll actually. It might be somewhat by.
Yeah, he slaps, dude. Navik used it on duels, Grix on the PTR, and I was really surprised. That thing is like a machine gun. It does so much damage. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, though. You can think of weird little niche situations where like pretty much everything within the Warlock kit can be applied in some sort of viable way, and I just love that about the class.
Master class, man. It's a master class.
Hero class.
The hero class, yeah.
The hero class, right? The anti-hero class or the hero class. Just can burst, can rot, all this type of stuff. If you guys think in the chat of any other strengths and weaknesses that are worth mentioning, we can bring it up after the fact, after we move past this section, just so people watching, the video later, they can get that information. But let's move past that for now. So we've talked about strengths and weaknesses, viable PvP specs. Okay. Viable PvP specs.
Man. Well, obviously Soul Link. There's different ways you can go with Soul Link. Also SM Ruin. Also Nightfall from Flag.
There's everything. There's so much to unpack here.
There's a lot of spec. Another one of my favorite builds is just Deep Flag, and then specking into Demonic Embrace,
What can I do for you?
and then improved Hellstone, and then I think a couple points into I'd have to pull up the talent calculator.
Yeah, I
Better
think
from
that's
your
what
video than Deep can flag from your video. That's my favorite.
Yeah, the deep can flag because, like, with SM Ruin, you're not getting,
What can
you
I
know,
get for
the
you today?
survivability from demonic embrace and your improved hellstone. Deep can flag's a lot of fun though, because you can spec into pyroclasm, and if you soulfire somebody and you manage to not kill them, you know, you have a chance to stun them. It's just it's fun. There's a lot of great specs.
There's a lot of great
Yeah, you
specs.
can watch Ascalon or XN. He's the warlock in Apes, and he's running around as deep conflag right now in World PvP, doing pretty good.
Is he playing in tier 1 or what's he playing?
He's got some tier 1. It's like a mishmash. I don't think he's been that lucky with loot. I think he's got like a robe of volatile power, mage blade, and then just a mishmash of other gear. I don't think he has his 5.
Yeah, I've been pretty bad with
How are
with
you
loot.
there? If you want to
Not too lucky. I actually feel like my character's cursed, man, I swear. But like I got tier 1's basically meme anyway. It's just
textiles and
PvP here as far
bandages
as I'm
don't grow on
concerned.
trees,
Yeah.
you know.
But you
Rather
can
than
go
cash
like
various cloth
if you
pieces
want, you
find
know, because a
adventuring,
lot of our
donate
like
them.
bis gear for
Doing so will earn
PvE
you the
is
recognition
like
of
max
the
roll
dwarven
shadow
people
wrath
of
gear.
Ironforge.
So you could replace those
Excellent.
max roll
I've been
shadow
hoping
wrath
for a
gear
new
pieces
student.
with max
Well,
roll
let's get started
fiery
right away,
wrath
then.
if you wanted to play Conflag. Because obviously you don't want to play like you know, heavy dash.
And just because you're going
shadow.
conflag, this, you know, like you said, not all conflag builds are created equal. You can go super heavy into the Destro tree and invest a
Right.
ton of talents in there, right? And even get stuff like the Daze talents and all that type of stuff. Or you can go as light as possible and only get 4 out of 5 in that Emberstorm talent and splash into Demo and Affliction and pick up some stuff there. Or you can go get Nightfall. Every single...
All right, food break.
It's, what I prefer is gonna be SM Ruin.
PvP spec, just because it has a label doesn't mean there's one spec and that's the cookie cutter spec and that's what you use. There is 3-4 variations of each of the main buckets. What do you guys think if you had to vote? BG's around the corner. BG's in 8 days. Everybody wants to do BG's. If you had to vote, what the most viable, popular, common, whatever spec comes to mind? If you had to vote for one, which one would come to mind?
There's a big debate in the Warlock Discord channel right now with people wanting to go Soul Link, and a lot of us saying go SM. You know, I feel like SM fits the role a little better as a Warlock than going SM.
What's on your mind?
Yeah, I think SM Ruin if you want to harass and kind of put more control on the battlefield, and Conflag, Nightfall if you want to have burst, especially with the health pools available right now. I think Conflag's really viable. A lot of people think you need to have a lot of crit for it, but with the gear available right now, I think it's fine with lower crit.
I would say that SM Ruin in almost all situations is going to be my answer. Now, if you're just ranking and you got a group of that you're queuing up with all the time, and you want to just do spread pressure, probably the best like spread pressure build would actually be SMDS. But that's not like, it's not a great 1v1 spec. It's
support,
it's basically just spreading pressure. You could do that, but I would lean towards
That's
SM.
25% bonus damage, right? The shadow across both of those. It's with the Demon's Sacrifice plus Shadow Mastery, right? It's a ton of damage.
You're just spreading dots, prodding down, let your warriors go in and clean up the mess.
That is something
just stay.
I'm so excited to flesh out and explore. Once Battlegrounds come out, I really want to explore the viability of a spell cleave, of going heavy with spread pressure. So the traditional, like let's say Warsong Gulch pre-made structure is this: two mages, 2 priests, 1 of every other class, right? My vote personally, given that kind of standard metagame, would be a Destro Warlock, because it's so high tempo, it's so bursty. You're killing people fast and efficiently with high burst damage and moving on to the next, right? And spread pressure doesn't. It's hard to find a huge place for spread pressure within that sort of metagame, right? So oftentimes Warlocks sit in midfield and they blow people up, and you're playing the same role as like an elemental shaman type thing, where you're trying to burst people, heavy burst people in the midfield as Destro. Now, that Destro playstyle doesn't appeal to me as much as some of the spread pressure and disruptor type playstyles with SL, but I would vote for
I don't remember going to this place on my other tunes.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Flag. Yeah, it's that spec is so much fun.
Yeah,
so much fun.
I think it just depends on what you want to do. If you want to be harassing people, you can run around with SM Ruin and Curse of Exhaustion and Curse of Tongues, everything, and kind of dot rot. But if you really want to see big numbers and get that lizard brain going, then Conflag is definitely worth.
Yeah.
I made a video covering like what I think are probably the best, most viable PvP specs. But like with SMDS, like if you're like an AV and you're just trying to like spread around pressure, and then yeah, that can be viable. But again, I'm always going to go with the SM Ruin. And if you're doing pre-mades and you're just trying to get wins and rank up, you could go Soul Link, because you might be actually sitting there on a flag, or you usually, like if I'm doing a pre-made, I'm either guarding a flag or I'm floating in between bases, waiting for call-outs. But so I guess
I'm going to
whatever your talent build depends on what you're doing in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the other thing I'd say too is don't be a slave to the meta. There's other stuff out there too, like you could do MD Ruin even and mess around with it. It all comes down to personal preference and play style.
That's true.
One of the beautiful things about the class, baby. So sick. So what I will personally be doing when BGs come out, because I'm already kind of broke, to be honest with you. I had a ton of gold saved up that I've been raid logging the past couple weeks, so it's been the gold's been deteriorating because I've been blasting and doing all that shit. But I'm personally going to go SLSB, right, for the Battlegrounds. And yes, it's a little bit more shard intensive, and yes, it's not, my favorite would be able to splash into Affliction and go SL as well, and my role wouldn't be to do damage, just to sit there in the battlefield and throw up tongues on everybody that applies to, and to just use every global to fear people and just disrupt the enemy team, right? Not apply a whole bunch of pressure to them. With that said, you can still slap some people around, right? But to be a big meaty boy midfield disrupting people, I want to see how viable that is. And the reason why I'm even commenting right now is that you can sort of, in a scuffed way, raid as that spec, because you are still picking up the Imp Shadow Bolt talents, and you're getting the cast time reduction thing, the Shadow Burn, so you're not going to be doing nearly as much damage as if you were in your SM Ruin or your DS Ruin, but you can still sort of raid in a serviceable way. And I still had some 90 plus parses as that spec, as that PvP spec, no flask or anything like that. Whereas if you were to go Affliction Soul Link, no chance, dude. It would be very difficult to raid as that.
Yeah, I think in raids, a Warlock's main utility right now is just their curses, because our chance to hit is so low. It's kind of like playing roulette.
Well, I mean, if you have a lot of shards and you're able to shadow weave, your shadow burns in there, or not shadow, you're able to just weave in your shadow burns off cooldown, which you kind of want to do anyway. I mean, it can be, it can be somewhat viable. You really, I guess it's up to your raid leader and your guild whether or not they'll let you roll that spec in a raid. But when AQ40 comes out and you can tank the Twin Emperors, that's actually the spec you're going to want to be. So you can just, tell your raid leader or whatever, yo, hey, I need to go Soul Link for the...
I'm pumped for that.
And then you'll have your Foul Hunter out and give you more shadow resistance, and then your tanker, for Twin Emps, and I mean that's when I'll be playing Soul Link. I for sure will be playing Soul Link around that time.
Hell yeah! Can't wait, dude. Can't wait.
That tank trial on the gear.
Okay, so we have Destro, right? Big burst damage, high tempo, a lot of fun, big numbers, Lizard Brain, as you said. We have SL, which is going to make you max tankiness, right, at the expense of damage and at the expense of,
Shards.
SL shards, SLSB. Yeah, I really like the drain. That was the one thing that won that dual tournament with the drain spec for SL. You just drain people right in their freaking face, dude. You don't even care. You know you're going to come out on top of that.
Yeah, you absolutely need to pet out, though, as SL, so that's something to take in consideration as the reset timer when you die.
So SL, big meaty boy at the expense of damage and some finesse and stuff, right? And then Affliction, if you go deep into Affliction, that's going to unlock more